Well, if he really was filming everybody, I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right? You know who said?
Brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and, I mean, damn, pause, but like, just I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times, just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Joe Rogan, Terrence Howard, and Katt Williams just went off loud and wild over some leaked files tied to Diddy. Even Elon Musk's name is now in the mix, throwing out cryptic warnings aimed straight at the white celebs caught up in this mess. Some of them are even trying to dip out of the country like it's a race against time. Now, before we dive deeper, let's keep it real. This is all based on what insiders and the internet are buzzing about. Nothing's confirmed, and I'm just laying out what's being said.
I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh.
So don't get it twisted. This ain't coming from me. Word on the street from folks inside the same prison Diddy's sitting in, he might be ready to start talking if it means getting himself off the hook. And according to Rogan, Terrence, and Katt, Diddy might be holding some big names in his pocket, and they're nervous.
You know?
Sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people on the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala, too.
Yeah, seriously. It's like insane.
Publicly, openly, like all in.
Yes. It's like J-Lo was like his ex-girlfriend. and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
The one name nobody expected to hear, Uncle Steve Harvey. Yep, you read that right. Katt Williams dropped some slick hints, and now people online are saying that the moment Steve got wind of Diddy's charges, he dipped out the country fast. But it ain't just that. He scrubbed his whole social media clean of anything linking him to Diddy. He even deleted a tweet from back in 2017 where he called Diddy a brother doing good for these kids. That one ain't aging well at all now. Straight up disturbing. But what really made people stop and do a double take? A photo of Lori Harvey wearing white nail polish. Sounds harmless at first, but if you've been following this Diddy madness, that detail hits real different. In her lawsuit, Cassie revealed that Diddy forced all the women around him to wear white nails during his so-called freak-off sessions. Why? Because the white polish popped hard against their skin in those twisted, creepy videos he was allegedly recording and keeping.
People against their will, putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
That's dark. And get this, Young Miami had the white nails too. Even Diddy's own mom was spotted wearing them. That's when people started asking, did Steve Harvey really not know what was going on? Or was he trying to get close to Diddy for those Hollywood connects? At the time, Diddy was on top, billionaire status, head of Revolt TV, tight with some of the biggest producers in the game. So now the talk is, if Diddy starts snitching, we might finally get the real story on why Steve left the scene so fast. And then there's Meek Mill. Since the arrest drama hit the news, Meek's gone completely silent. That's odd, especially since he and Diddy were tight. People haven't forgotten that old clip of Meek chilling in the pool with Diddy calling him daddy and saying he loved him. Back then, folks laughed it off, but now that video didn't age well at all. When Diddy's case hit full blast and names were getting dropped left and right in those lawsuits, Meek Mill vanished.
What's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Let's not forget, Lil Rod, who also filed a lawsuit against Diddy, straight up claimed that Diddy was bending Meek and tossing him deals in exchange. So when all that started leaking, Meek booked it to Africa and started tweeting some real cryptic stuff. One of his posts even said he'd drop $100,000 to anyone who could find out who was trying to tie him to Diddy. But the internet ain't buying it. People are saying Meek's just trying to cover his tracks before something serious drops. Word is he might have been caught on footage that the feds picked up during their investigation. If that's true, it's only a matter of time before things explode once court starts. Right now, he's out here acting clueless, but nobody's falling for that act.
Had a recording of Meek and Diddy
making love?
Ew. I don't know if it was love.
Okay, you have it? Let's hear it.
What?
Yo, wait a minute. Wait,
You didn't hear this?
No!
Now, Miran,
Yeah.
what does that sound authentic?
It absolutely. Oh my God.
And then there's Usher. Yeah, even he is supposedly shaking right now. He's been close to Diddy since way back, and his name is getting pulled into the drama too. Usher was just 13 when he joined something called Diddy's Flavor Camp. And now people online are saying that Diddy may have had him in some really messed up situations back then. And remember what Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal dropped on us? According to him, Diddy once sent Usher to the hospital, bleeding from you-know-where. Yeah, it's that serious. And just when it couldn't get any crazier, folks are digging up that old Kevin Hart interview where Diddy was clowning around, talking about waking up in bed with Usher when they were younger.
Brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and, pause, but like just back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older.
Back then, people laughed like it was just wild party talk. But now, with all this new stuff coming out, ain't nobody laughing anymore. If Usher really got caught up in anything like that, he better have his legal squad on standby because it could get ugly real fast.
If you don't mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive, what happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not gonna speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something, they may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
Where did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with them. I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the, and that's what was said. I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you hear it, and that's what happened. So, and just to hear this, and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that shit is crazy. And like I just said, you know, that's just something that I heard.
And then there's Jay-Z. He's been locked in with Diddy for years. Business deals, elite parties, exclusive trips, you name it. Things take a dark turn when it comes to a woman named Kathy White. Word on the street is she was Jay-Z's secret mistress, and she allegedly passed away after getting pregnant by him. This rumor's been whispered for years, but now people are saying Diddy might know exactly what went down and could even have tapes to back it up. That's got everyone shook, but that's not the only dirt Jay-Z's name is floating in. You remember that lawsuit from a few months back? Some unnamed woman came forward accusing both Diddy and Jay-Z of SA. Said it happened after the 2000 VMAs at some elite party in an NYC residence. Heavy stuff. But when things hit the courtroom, it all started falling apart. The woman said her father picked her up right after the incident, but when he took the stand, he said he didn't remember anything like that. She also mentioned having a convo with Benji Madden at the party, but he clapped back saying he wasn't even in New York that night. Too many holes, not enough proof. So the judge threw the whole case out. But even with that legal win, the damage was already done. People kept talking, and the fire kept spreading. Then Jaguar Wright jumped in, guns blazing. She said Jay-Z's no better than Diddy, maybe even worse. Her exact words, she called him the devil. Now that's a bold claim.
She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years.
And if Diddy really has any receipts linking Jay-Z to what went down at those so-called freak-offs, it could be game over for him. Reputation, empire, everything. Who could forget that awkward Diddy birthday video, him singing all emotional to French Montana while both of them were covered in baby oil? Back then, folks just called it weird. But now, that moment hits way different, especially since the feds reportedly found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil stashed in Diddy's crib. 1,000. That ain't just a skincare routine. That's suspicious. And the madness doesn't stop there. Jennifer Lopez's name just slid back into the convo over that infamous club shooting with Shine back in the day. Now whispers are getting louder, claiming J-Lo knew the real story behind what went down that night. According to insiders, she was allegedly the one holding the strap in her purse.
I have 3 right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
And then lied about it to the grand jury. That's what Natanya Rubin, one of the women hurt in that shooting, has been saying. She's still fighting to reopen the case and even offered to get the fragments surgically removed from her face to prove it. Just to prove J-Lo had been lying all these years, Natanya Rubin said both Diddy and Jennifer need to be held accountable.
Irony is, there was a grand jury. We all had to go and speak at the grand jury. J-Lo testified at the grand jury, as did many other people. It needs to be reopened because if that is in fact the case, she carried the gun in and she lied to the grand jury. It needs to be reopened.
And if this thing really blows up, J-Lo might finally have to face some real consequences for the first time ever. Now here's where it starts spinning into wild territory. Whistleblowers like Katt Williams and Terrence Howard started dragging white celebs into the mix too. The ones who suddenly started ghosting the spotlight the moment Diddy's mess hit the fan. Even Elon Musk jumped in. He reposted a tweet straight up calling out Ellen DeGeneres for fleeing the US right after the Diddy drama went public. And if you've been watching close, Ellen ain't just laying low, she disappeared completely. A new pic just popped up showing her in a quiet little pub in England, rocking a brand new hairstyle, different energy, and a whole different vibe. She claims she moved to escape the craziness happening in America. But folks online aren't buying it for a second. They think she's running. Ellen and Diddy go way back. He was always on her show, cracking jokes, talking about wild nights, getting real cozy on that couch. Now people are asking, did she know something? Or worse, was she involved in something?
No, it's great. So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's the... Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
That's a different type of party. It'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
And then it will carry on there?
Yeah. Then the after party.
No, I know about them.
Back in 2016, Ellen tweeted Diddy a happy birthday, calling him Cuddled McSnuggle Stuff, and added, "Y'all don't need to know why." But now, people definitely want to know why. That tweet ain't aging well, and with everything bubbling up, it's raising major eyebrows. Ellen's also got a long-standing rep for being nasty behind closed doors. Former staff have already exposed her for running what many call the most toxic set in Hollywood. And now, rumors are flying about 2 of her past romantic partners, both allegedly passing away under strange circumstances. People are starting to connect the dots, saying Diddy might have helped clean up or cover something. Right after Joe Rogan broke it all down, Katt Williams jumped in and cranked up the heat. And this time, he didn't hold anything back. For years, folks treated Katt like he was just ranting. But now, people are realizing maybe he was telling the truth all along.
These big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
Katt ain't sparing anybody. He's calling out the whole industry. Doesn't matter your skin color. If you were doing dirt behind the scenes, your name's getting pulled up. And guess who else just popped onto the list? Leonardo DiCaprio. Yep, as soon as the Diddy story started to unravel, his name slid into the convo too.
Who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
Yes,
right?
without a doubt, you are.
Leonardo DiCaprio was spotted hopping on a jet straight to Italy, claiming it was just a getaway with his new girlfriend. But the timing, way too slick. Right as Diddy's drama explodes, Leo's in the wind. Now that don't look like coincidence. Old photos from Diddy's East Hampton mansion back in '98 just resurfaced, showing Leo chilling in the background like he'd been there 100 times. That's got folks asking, how deep did that friendship really go? Word on the street is Leo and Diddy were tight during the 2000s. Diddy even called Leo his #1 invite to those infamous all-white parties. Yeah, those parties. Now Leo's camp is scrambling, claiming they haven't spoken in years, but people aren't so sure. Then you got Ashton Kutcher starting to move a little funny too. His old MTV ties to Diddy run deep. They ran the New York Marathon together, and Ashton was even spotted at the 2009 White Party. Remember that Hot Ones interview where Ashton Kutcher got real squirmy when they brought up Diddy's parties?
So, can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
He laughed it off, said he had stories, but couldn't share. Now it's looking like there was a very real reason behind that hesitation. Ashton and Mila Kunis have reportedly been watching football and laying low, but according to In Touch, they're planning to fully dip out of Hollywood and start fresh in Europe. Official word is they want a quieter life. But people online are saying it looks more like they're trying to escape the blast zone before Diddy's trial starts blowing up names. And it's not just rumors floating anymore. Terrence Howard just dropped a straight-up bombshell. His sit-down on the PBD podcast sent shockwaves through the scene. He didn't sugarcoat anything. According to Terrence, Diddy tried to slide on him under the disguise of a business collab. At first, it was about acting. Then Diddy switched it up, started pushing for studio time and music talk, but Terrence says it wasn't about art. It was about getting close in a whole different way. His own assistant had to pull him aside and say flat out, he wants to smash.
I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh.
And just like that, Terrence shut it all down. He cut ties, ghosted, locked every door, and got out of there quick. But Terrence didn't stop at Diddy. He made it real clear. Diddy wasn't the only one. He said other big-name producers were moving the exact same shady way. This wasn't just a one-off. It's been a whole pattern in the industry for years. According to him, when a man walks into a room, how he's treated shifts depending on what they think they can get from him.
When you give up those things, like when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing.
And if you push back against those creepy vibes, you don't get invited back, period. And now it's all catching up. The industry's dirty laundry is spilling everywhere, and nobody's off limits. More whistleblowers are stepping forward, hinting that what we've seen so far is just the surface. Insiders are saying there are vaults of footage, secret recordings, NDAs, and hidden payoffs used to keep people quiet. We're talking hush money, private investigators, and entire teams dedicated to scrubbing the internet clean before the heat gets too real. But the internet never forgets, and now folks are digging faster than ever. Even major streaming platforms are said to be quietly removing content tied to some of these names, trying to distance themselves before anything explodes. If that's true, then the fallout is already starting behind closed doors. Meanwhile, everyone from stylists to former assistants to low-key club staff are now speaking up, sharing stories they were once too scared to tell.
So, can't tell that one either. I mean, like actually cycling through them.
And the scary part, all the stories match up. It's painting a picture of an elite circle where manipulation, control, and access were everything. And saying no could cost you your whole career. Katt Williams backed up every single word with no hesitation. He said he turned down $50 million, not once, but 4 different times, just to keep his name clean and his dignity intact. And when he said he was protecting his virgin whole, he wasn't joking around. He meant exactly what he said.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times, just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right.
Katt also dropped game on how people don't even realize what they're signing up for when they chase certain deals. According to him, Diddy had been trying to get close for years, but Katt always stood firm and shut it down. Then the whole conversation circled back to one hot-button issue people been whispering about for years, the so-called dress agenda. That controversial claim about Hollywood trying to push black men into wearing dresses or playing feminine roles before they can hit real success. Katt, Terrence Howard, and even Dave Chappelle have all been calling that out, saying it's not just a coincidence. Terrence even said straight up, that's exactly why he got dropped from Iron Man. And it wasn't about the paycheck. It was about him not playing the game the way they wanted. It all came down to one thing, fitting the mold. Terrence didn't, and he wasn't about to compromise himself just to stay in Hollywood's good graces. He wasn't putting on no dress, and he wasn't about to water down who he really was just to play along. Katt Williams echoed that same experience. He said, Martin Lawrence tried to pull him into Big Mama's house, asking him to rock a dress for the role. But Katt wasn't having it. According to him, he told Martin straight up, I'm not the one y'all looking for. And sure enough, they went and cast Brandon T. Jackson instead. Katt had jobs lined up, opportunities in place, but once he refused to wear that dress, doors started closing. He said it clear, he wasn't going to play the game. Then he called out Kevin Hart. Kevin once said in an interview he'd never wear a dress for a role, but not long after, boom, he's on SNL.
And then to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse.
New Pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee Kavenshané Wallace.
In a dress, cracking jokes. Right after that, his career shot through the roof. Katt didn't say that was just a coincidence. Nah, he said that's how the game works. Even Dave Chappelle told Oprah the exact same story, how they tried to throw him in a dress too. He wasn't with it, and next thing you know, he dipped out to Africa and vanished for a while.
I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats of...
That wasn't random. He was protecting himself from the game. Katt Williams made his point loud and clear. Some folks are willing to play the game, no matter how twisted it gets. But others, they'll walk away with empty pockets just to keep their pride and peace of mind. And now the internet is on fire. Everyone has something to say. People are suddenly claiming, I never rocked with Diddy. But let's be real, we all know Hollywood was obsessed with Diddy's parties. If you were somebody, you wanted that invite. One user even said, I hope the Epstein and Diddy list drops so all these evil people finally see a jail cell. The pressure is rising. And with that May 2025 trial creeping closer, this whole thing feels like a ticking time bomb. So now we want to hear from you. What's your take on this insane unraveling? Drop a comment below and let's get into it. And if you're riding with us for the raw truths and no filter takes, hit that like, smash that subscribe, and click on the next video showing up on your screen because we're just getting started. See you on the next one.